Hello, Caitlin. I'm Carson. While going through some of our peers' projects, I came across yours and found some really interesting images that I wanted to talk about with you. What initially drew me to your project was your use of progression. You did a great job that really captured my attention, I felt at least, with some of these images that really escalated in a very dramatic, interesting way. Starting with this image here. We see just a few simple pieces of technology that any college student might have, but then just a couple images later, we just have this overflow of multiple game controllers, just a cluttered desk of technology from what it appears. And I find that very interesting how, in a very common use in stories, just that escalation, whether it be through conflict or just in general, in your case, escalating the amount of technology used. You also do a great job when you include your character in escalating him itself. Here it just appears he's playing some video games, looking around online, looking at his phone. Again, very typical college situation and such, but then just a few images later, we are back with the same character, and this time he has all the screens going, something active happening on every single one, and he seems to be trying to engage in every single one. And you do a really great job here with using lighting, making these very bright screens in a very dark room to really show the emphasis and draw towards all of this technology that we use and such. Now, while I think that the incorporation of technology and we as young college students, our reliance on it, is a very interesting concept, I have trouble seeing what the narrative, the story is that you're trying to tell through this. Like I said, there's a lot of strong escalation and such, but then I don't see any type of conclusion. Once we get towards the end, you do a great job of making your point that as students we rely on these objects of technology, the Oakley sunglasses, the big headphones we use to talk online, and the game controllers, and the multiple screens we have running at all times, but there's no conclusion to it. It's a great point to make, but without a conclusion, it just feels very like a cliff drop. There's just nothing left anymore. So I think by honing in on more of that storytelling to the narrative, I think you can really take home the point you're trying to make as far as a reliance on technology and such. A strong picture, one that I really liked the most, which I had just pulled up, was this one here. It does a great job of a narrative picture as far as being very unsettling. We have this character with Oakley's on in a very dark room as it is. He seems to be very engaged with whatever he is playing, but we don't know what that is. He is underneath a blanket without a shirt on. It's just a lot of very unsettling and confusing things going on that do a great job to make us look and ask more about what's going on. There's also your use of margins, your use of the border as far as the fast food cup and bag kind of gives us this idea that there is more beyond this picture. Beyond this picture is really a character who is engulfed by this college lifestyle and such. A picture that I saw that could have been used a little bit more effectively maybe, or a little differently, was this last image here. And to end on this image, again, it kind of ties back into that ambiguous ending to the story, not being much of a conclusion. It does a great job at being unsettling. It's a similar situation where he has on these big headphones. We don't know exactly what's going on, but for the most part it's a bit of a mess, a typical college scene around him. But there isn't anything distinct about it popping out. I'm having a harder time seeing what point is trying to be made here. And I think that's just overall what I found in your project. Some of the areas that you might be looking to address when going into the final project would be those areas of the storytelling aspect of a narrative in itself. Otherwise, I think it's a really great project, a very interesting point to be made, and I think with honing in on that storytelling aspect to it, it's going to turn out great. I hope it goes really well for you, and I look forward to see what comes of it. Have a good one.